Here with three Republican legislative leaders to respond to Governor Corzine's State of the State address. They are Assembly Minority Leader Alex DeCrose of Parsippany and the ranking Republican on the Budget Committee in the Assembly, Joe Malone of Bordentown. Senator Kaine, let me begin with you. Your overall reaction to this speech?
Well, it's true that New Jersey's in a difficult economic situation right now, but we didn't get here overnight. And unfortunately, the policies of Governor Corzine over the course of the last several years helped get us to this point. As you well know, the governor's big proposals of 2008 were an 800% toll hike and a pension deferral gimmick that was rejected on a bipartisan basis, Republicans and Democrats alike, in the legislature. The Republicans have come together and worked on a bipartisan basis, bringing Democrats with us to find the real solutions, to find the small business credits that will create jobs and long-term growth in the state of New Jersey, have led the fight to protect, make sure there's no borrowing without voter approval, as the governor did for $3.9 billion last year alone. We've been leading the fight against the $62 million extension on the energy tax that the governor increased and allowed to happen last year. That's impacting every ratepayer and every senior citizen in the state of New Jersey right now. The Republicans are coming together trying to find solutions, blocking these one-shot gimmicks that the governor's identified in these speeches. We need to get beyond the poll testing, beyond the partisan rhetoric, beyond the punting, kicking the can down the field, and find the real solutions to create jobs, economic growth, affordability in the state of New Jersey. Republicans have done that. The governor has ignored those priorities for far too long.
Assemblyman DeCrose, your overall reaction to this presentation today?
Well, I believe New Jersey's been in somewhat of a recession for a period of years now. Let's face the facts. The building industry in New Jersey has been decimated. It's mostly going out of state. Manufacturing is practically gone. We're losing our pharmaceutical jobs little by little. And frankly, if you check the unemployment numbers going back several months and a couple of years, you'll find that New Jersey's rate of unemployment was above the national rate of unemployment. It's only recently we caught up with the federal government and had the federal government surpass us only because of what's happened on a national level.
Assemblyman Malone, your basic take on this presentation?
To be honest with you, I think it was a little weak, Michael. I think that we're faced with an extreme crisis in the state of New Jersey, and crisis is going to bring out the character of the individuals that lead this state. I think that we need to do bold moves to make sure that New Jerseyans feel strongly that their government is going to be able to lead them out of this dilemma. Today, I did not hear anything bold. It was just a rehash of things that the Democrats have done over the years. We need to look at basically putting a total ban on all increase in taxes at every level of government. We need to make sure that the New Jerseyans can feel secure and safe moving forward. We haven't done that in this speech, and we need to move forward.
Let me take one thing that he said in this speech and get your reaction to it. He said that the economic stimulus measures that have gone through the legislature this fall and that you all supported many of have really been path-breaking. He says we've done a better job than any state in the nation of responding to this national economic crisis with our mortgage, our foreclosure prevention measures, our job $3,000 per job credit, and so on.
We're a state looking for a reality here. If you talk to people out on Main Street, they do not believe what they heard today, and they're going to show that over and over because we have not done for the big business community what we said we were going to do. People are out of jobs. People need work. People want to know that their government is going to lead them out of this dilemma.
You don't think that he has passed or signed 20, 30, 40 stimulus measures that make a difference?
I think they'll make a very slight difference because you talk about the home foreclosure issue. It's only 16,000 foreclosures that are going to be helped in the state of New Jersey. He said today we have, what, 48,000? That doesn't help the other, 36,000 people? It's not so far-reaching.
I think it's also important, Michael, that we look at a little bit of history here. In 2007, New York had private sector job growth rate of 12 times the New Jersey rate. If you look at the Connecticut, it had an 11 times growth rate in private sector job growth than New Jersey. Look at Pennsylvania. It was 6 times our job growth rate. So New Jersey had unique circumstances, economic circumstances, that were created by John Corzine's policies and extenuated by his policies over the last several years. Now, Republicans have been addressing this on our collective websites. We've offered common sense solutions to make New Jersey more affordable, create jobs. The home energy tax that got John Corzine extended is hurting ratepayers of every economic spectrum. The Republican plans, it was the Republicans who came up with the net operating loss extension that the governor talked about. It was the Republicans who came together on a bipartisan basis and identify the throw-out rule.
He's finally seeing the light, according to the business trade associations in Trenton. He's doing what they've been calling for years, and that you've been calling for. Doesn't that count? Doesn't he get some credit for addressing the state's business climate issues?
Well, I think the problem is that many of us, Republicans and Democrats alike, saw this issue coming, and instead of finding solutions in the years ago to try to either create jobs to begin with or to prevent some of this from happening now, the governor instead focused on partisan rhetoric, as we heard today. He focused on poll-tested policies.
Such as?
Well, you saw last year. He talked about the toll hike that he talked about. When he couldn't get his 800% toll hike through, and he got the 150% toll hike through, the language he used came directly out of the most extensive poll that anybody's ever seen in the state of New Jersey's history. And so when you look at that type of poll-tested language, instead of finding something that is embodied and finding the real long-term solutions, people want character. People want solutions, and people want somebody who's going to be able to say, identify where we need to go. But if you look on issue after issue, open space preservation, the governor has failed. You look at ethics reform, the governor has failed. On job creation, the governor has failed. What we need instead are what Republicans have done, and the solutions we have offered, and some of which have been accepted by the people, including the Lance Amendment to prevent borrowing without voter approval that the governor essentially ignored this past year, to find the real solutions, to make New Jersey affordable, create jobs, create a long-term job growth so the middle-class families can continue to afford to live in this state.